I've discovered a really cool strategy that I've been using for a while now to consistently make $500 to $1,000 a day trading Bitcoin. And the great thing about this strategy is that it's something you can look for every day. The setups are very, very common if you know what to look for. And so I'm going to be walking you through this today step by step. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell for notifications because we are bringing you the juiciest trading strategies here on YouTube. This strategy involves trading very local ranges on very low time frames, and every single day there are going to be 4 potential trade setups that we can look for. And so it makes it very, very simple to come to a chart, identify those trades. We can approach this very systematically so that we have good risk to reward ratios and very high probability setups. Most of the time, every single asset you are going to be looking at is going to be trading sideways. A lot of people make the mistake of always trying to catch those huge moves, but the reality is most of the time the asset is going to be ranging sideways with a clearly defined low and a clearly defined high. And if we just look at these ranges and without knowing anything about trading, if we just blindly long the bottom and short the top, you can see that for the most part we're going to have pretty profitable time trading this way. And so this is going to be the foundation in which we are going to be looking for trades. And there's going to be 2 types of trades that we are going to be looking for. Number 1 is going to be a fake out, and number 2 is going to be a bounce from a golden pocket retracement. So what we want to do is we want to come to a range and we want to identify clear lows and clear highs. And these are going to be the first main pivots that price makes when it's entering into a new range, right? So we got a big dump to the downside. As soon as we put in that bottom, we are going to mark that level out. As soon as we start to get our first retracement, we are going to mark that level out. And this is going to give us 2 potential places to look for a trade, because if price gets a fake out to the downside with certain confirmations, we will enter into a long trade. If price gets a fake out to the upside with certain confirmations, we are going to be looking for a short trade. The second type of trade we're going to be looking for here is going to be a Fibonacci retracement. So if we take our Fibonacci from the low to the high, we would also want to mark this out and understand that this is where we would also be looking for a trade. So every single day there's going to be 4 trades we can take in the local range: a fake out of the low, a fake out of the high, and then Fibonacci retracements. So the first thing we need to do when we come to a chart is we need to say, okay, where is my range? And if I have a range, then where are my Fibonacci golden pocket retracements going to come in? Once we have these 4 levels marked out, we need to make plans in advance. And the reason for that is because if we want to trade this way, and if we want to be profitable trading this way, we need to have clearly defined plans in advance. We need to know what our entry is going to be, what our stop loss is going to be, but more importantly, what are the confirmations that we need to get into trades. For example, the long trade from right down here, this was actually a plan that we had in advance, right? We take a look right here in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. We were planning this level out well in advance. We knew exactly what level we wanted to look for. It was the Fibonacci golden pocket retracement. And we knew also what confirmations we wanted to look for. Or another great example would be the short that we took also from 23,850. This was also a short setup that we were looking for. We had the plan in advance, and the reason is because, again, it was a Fibonacci golden pocket retracement at this area, and so we already know where we're looking to take the trade. This takes so much pressure off because a lot of traders are going to be chasing price, and they're going to be feeling like constantly like under pressure, thinking, what is price going to do next? But when we have these plans in advance, what we can do is it takes all the pressure off, right? We can come to a chart, we can identify those key areas, and then we can just relax and say, you know what, I don't care what price does. I know if price comes up or if price comes down, I have a plan to get myself into a trade, which leads to the next aspect of this, which is knowing what confirmations you are looking for to get into a trade. Okay, now we're going to start with the fake outs because a lot of people get very, very bearish when price starts to put in a lower low, and people start to get very, very bullish when price starts to put in a higher high. But one thing I do want to point out is these are actually both trades that can be very, very easy to take if you know what confirmations you are looking for. In fact, I'm actually still in right now this long trade from that low that we put in here. I am not currently in that same short trade. I'm actually in a more local short trade here from taking out this previous high actually that we put in yesterday, right? We took out that high and now we're starting to get a move down from right here. right? But basically the principle is the same. If you want to take advantage of 0% limit fees trading on ByBit, link in the description, link in the pinned comment. This is actually a really good deal for people who are scalping on lower term timeframes like we do, because those fees can really cut into your profits. In addition, if you want to learn how to trade this way, if you want to stop gambling away your money and actually learn a systematic approach to trading this way, check out the course at jasoncaspertrading.com. We have a 20% discount in the description and pinned comment for this course, which is changing the way thousands of people approach these charts, because you will stop trading with emotion and you will actually learn how to have that point A to point B comprehensive trading system. So what are we going to be looking for when we're taking out the lows or taking out the highs? When you're making your plan, you need to know what confirmations you are looking for to get into a trade. So for me, when I am looking for price to take out a significant high or a significant low, I'm looking for divergences on my oscillator. Now, I use an oscillator called Cipher. It's pretty much the best indicator you can use in TradingView for multiple reasons, but you can really use any oscillator you want to. The principle is the same. And so what we're going to be looking for, if we put in a significant low and then we go and we put in a lower low, is we are going to be looking for the oscillator to do the opposite of what the price is doing. Now, I really enjoy Cipher B because it's very powerful, these divergences here. And if we get a very deep momentum wave and then a very shallow momentum wave as the price is getting lower, that gives us the coveted uneven butt cheek pattern, as we see right here, a juicy left cheek, a skinny right cheek. As the price is getting higher, that is showing us that this is going to be a fake out to the downside, and we can then get into the trade. Now, we can tell ourselves, I'm only going to get into the trade if price comes down to the level and if I see my predetermined confirmations. Now, people ask, what time frame do you use for this? For me, I like to use the 1 hour, the 20 minute, and the 5 minute. Well, actually, I use the 1 hour, the 24 minute, and the 12 minute, but you can use the 1 hour, the 20 minute, and the 10 minute. That's fine. But I personally like the 24 minute and the 12 minute better. But really, what we are looking for is, on some of these time frames, are we seeing divergences as the price is coming to that level? And if the answer is yes, then we can get into the trade. If we come down to that level and price is not showing any kind of confirmation, then we do not take the trade. And the opposite would be true when we get the fake out of the high. We can see right here that when we came up to that high, Cipher B was giving us the bearish divergence where the momentum was getting lower, giving us the upside down uneven butt cheek pattern. As the price was getting higher, giving us the fake out, we were able to take that short trade, and it was a very, very juicy short trade. But I want you just to notice that we were prepared, understanding, making the plan. This is so important. What do I want to see on the chart? If price does this, then I will do that. And we see it with the long, we see it with the short. I was looking for very specific confirmations. I want to see a bearish divergence on the 1 hour, the 24 minute, and 12 minute. I let everybody know in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, this was the level, this was the setup, and pretty much the setup got hit very, very nicely, right? And by the way, if you want to join the Casper Crew, you can go to patreon.com/JasonCasper. We don't give signals, but we do very, very good technical analysis as a great community to actually learn stuff like this. So after we know exactly what confirmations we're looking at to get into the trade, we want to understand where's our stop loss going to be, and we also want to understand what is the risk to reward ratio. And here's why, right? If we are taking trades and we want to be profitable over time, we need to make sure that our wins are always outweighing our losses, right? We want to make sure the wins are always outweighing the losses. And what does that mean? It means if we have a trade setup where the next potential take profit is going to be, let's say, a 1% move, but our stop loss needs to be a 2% stop loss, this is a horrible risk to reward. We're risking 2% to make 1%. Instead, what we want to do is we want to risk very, very little to potentially make a lot, right? And so what we are going to do is, when we are looking for these trade setups, let's say that we get the fake out down here. What we do is, as soon as we get that fake out and we see that we're getting the fake out, we have to put our stop loss below the wick. That's a 0.39% stop loss. And let's say we are targeting the last high right up here. This is now going to be a 2.3% stop loss. So we're potentially making 5.8 times more money than we are risking. And this is very important. when it comes to trading this way, we want to make sure that our risk management is very, very key. Okay, because here's the thing. If we are constantly making more per trade than we are losing, I could take 5 losses in a row if I was looking for setups like this, and on that 5th trade, I will break even. So basically, we're setting ourselves up for success. We only want to take trades like this if our target is more than our potential loss. And the great thing about trades like this is our stop loss is very, very clear. It needs to be always below, especially for the fake out, where we got that fake out from. Now, check this out. For the short trade that we took yesterday, the stop loss was also very, very clear, right? If we're shorting, once we get that fake out, stop loss goes above that high right here. That's a 0.8% stop loss. We're targeting back down to the low. This is also 4 times more potential profit than there is risk, right? These types of trade setups are going to be very, very profitable over time because we already know that when we're trading sideways ranges, we can just kind of almost, and I'm not saying to do this because we need to have confirmations because sometimes these don't play out, but when we're looking at sideways ranges, we know that most of the time, price is going to respect the highs and the lows until all of a sudden it doesn't. So in this range here, we could have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades in this range, and the 9th one would have been a loss after 8 wins, right? So if we're trading this way, we already know there's a pretty good chance when we come up to those highs that we're going to get a move to the downside. We know if we're getting our confirmations, there's a really good chance we're going to get the move to the downside. And then we know even if we don't get a win here, even if we take a loss, even if we take 2 or 3 losses, we're actually still going to be more profitable over time, just simply because of these risk to reward ratios. Okay, so stop loss always is going to go above or below that last wick for the fake out trade. Now, what about for the golden pocket trades? This one is a little bit different. For this one, we're going to pull the golden pocket from the low to the high. If we see that we've made a significant low to high, and we're going to mark out that golden pocket area, and when price comes down to it, never mind this scam wick here. This did not happen on most exchanges. In most exchanges, we came right down to the golden pocket. It was a trade setup that we already actually had a plan for right here to long from the golden pocket. It's actually the long trade that I'm currently in right now from the golden pocket. If we take a look down here, I actually did take this long when we came down to bounce from the golden pocket. I took this long yesterday. Right? And so when we come down to that golden pocket, what are we going to be looking for? Now, in this case, we're not going to be on the 1 hour or the 15 minute. We need to go down to lower time frames in order to find these bullish divergences. Because remember, when we're getting a retrace, we're not going to see the divergences on the higher term time frames. So for the golden pocket retracements, instead of looking at the 1 hour and the 20 minute and the 10 minute, I recommend looking at the 10 minute and the 5 minute and the 1 minute. And you can see as we come down and make lower lows here into our Fibonacci golden pocket, the 6 minute time frame is giving us that bullish divergence. That's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, subscribe, click the bell. May God bless you all in the name of Jesus, the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I still pray you are very blessed. And I'll see everybody in the next video. Peace.